HAAZINU. Our Torah reading for this week is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 1 through 52. HAAZINU. All right. The Tanakh or Haftarah is 2 Samuel 22, verse 1 through 52 again, through the 50s. And the Salaki 51. And the Besorah is Yahawaah, John chapter 6, verse 26 through 35. So we got 52 verses. Roll through it. So this is the Song of Moses. It ends in around verse of. This is the Song of Moses. It ends in verse, I think, 40. Ends in verse 43. Okay, this is the Song of Moses. Probably need to start saying this regularly. Once upon a time we did Shabbat. Just Yahawah telling us what's gonna happen to us and what he did good for us, how we rebelled against him, and how once we repent, he'll come back to us again and put us back into our land. All right, so the first read is the Parashah. Mabwa, Rakwa. Yabanaka Yahawah by Shem Yahushai. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 1 through what's the 7 divisions? What's in here? Further 1 through 5. So you do 1 through 5. How many verses you doing in your body of 1 and 3? Anybody else? I go ahead and start reading anybody else. Verse 1.
Yanya.
Give ear.
Read that again.
Nanya.
Zell.
Nanya.
HAAZINU.
Give ear.
HaShamayim.
Heavens.
Wa'adabara.
Wa'adabara.
And I will speak.
Washamai.
And hear.
Ha'aratza.
Earth.
Amaria.
The words.
Haya.
My mouth.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
I
drop. Or drop. Kamatar. As rain. My doctrine and my statutes.
Fazal.
Shall distill.
Qatar.
As do.
Amarsaya.
My speech.
Kasha Ayariam.
As drops or droplets.
Ilya.
Upon.
Dasha.
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 Tender herb.
Wakarabayam.
Wakabayabum. Salak Waka. Rabiyab. As the showers.
Ilya.
Upon the grass.
Aisha.
Upon. Aishan. The grass. Kaya. For or because.
Sham.
Verse 3.
Kaya. Because or for. Sham. Name.
Yahawah.
He is.
Akwara.
I will say, or I will publish.
Havya.
Describe you.
Gadal.
Greatness.
La'al Hayanya.
Say it again.
La'al Hayanwa.
Say it again. La.
La. A.
Mm-hmm.
La.
Mm-hmm.
Hayan.
Alahaya.
Alhayan. Alhaya.
Mm-mm. Alahaya. What? We didn't say the last part.
Alhaya. Nwa.
Hmm.
Alhaya Nwa.
Alahaya now. Our power. That verse 1 through 5 in English. No, I'm sorry, 1 through 6.
Give ear,
Mm-hmm.
O heavens, and I will speak, and may the earth hear the words of my mouth. May my teaching drop like the rain. May my utterance flow like the dew, like storm winds upon vegetations. vegetation and like raindrops upon blades of grace, grass. When I call out the name of HAAZINU, ascribe greatness to our Elohim, the rock, perfect is his work, for all his paths are justice. A Elohim of faith without iniquity, righteous and fair is he, corruption is not his, the blemish is his children, a perverse and twisted generation.
6. What's 6?
Is it to HAAZINU that you do this, O vile and unwise people? Is he not your father and master?
Your master.
Has he not created you and formed you? Firmed you?
Okay. That's it. So the Most High is calling all creation in the heavens and the earth to be a witness of what he's saying. He's giving these words to Moses to write a song. Yahweh is thy rock, so he's the strength of all the universe. He's the foundation of everything that exists. All right. All of the Yahweh's ways are judgments, truth, righteous. All of his ways are right. These are our ways that have been corrupted. That's why verse 5 says we corrupted ourselves. The blemishes in us is not the blemish of his children. So we're not conducting ourselves as servants and worshipers of Yahweh. So Yahweh saying, is this the way you're going to pay me back? Is this how you're going to act? Am I not your father that brought you out of the land of Egypt? I brought you out of all these terrible things. I have established you. Right? I made you and I set you up firmly. All right? So I need it's like verse 7 through 12. Good morning.
Amarwa, Barak,
That's a Hebrew word.
Yeah.
Zakar?
You said Zakar? Remember
Yahawah?
the days
Iwalam?
of old,
Bayanwa?
consider
Shanwath,
years
Wadar,
of
Wadar,
Wadar, and many generations
Sha'al,
as
Abayaka,
your father,
Wayagadka,
and he will show you
Zakwanyaka,
your elders,
Waya Amarwa,
and they will tell
Laka,
you
Bahankal,
Bahani, Ko, or Haka. Say it again.
Bahankal,
Bahani. When divided their inheritance,
Alyawan,
the Most High,
Gawayam,
the nations,
Bahaparyadwa,
when he separated
Vanya,
the sons
Adam,
of Adam,
Yatzazab,
he set
Wabalfa,
the boundaries,
Gabalfa,
the boundaries
Ayam,
say it again,
Ayam,
of the people,
Masapar,
according to the number
Vanya,
of the sons
Yasha'ala,
of Yasha'Allah, of Ephraim's power,
Kaya,
for
Kalkwa,
portion,
Yahawa,
he is
Aywa,
his people,
Yaikwab,
Yaquab,
Kabal,
say it again,
Kabal,
the place,
Nakalthawa,
say it again,
Nakalthawa,
of his inheritance. How many verses was that? 7, 8, 9. That was 3, right? Okay. Go back to English and read. You started in verse 7, 7 to 12. Okay.
Remember the days of yore. Understand.
Oh, right.
Yore.
No. What does it say? Remember the days of what?
Of yore.
Okay, go ahead.
Understand the years of generation after generation. Ask your father, and he will relate it to you, your elders, and they will tell you.
So basically what this is saying is that our history of what happened to our people is relayed through generation to generation. That's why the elders tell the next in leadership what happened in the past, so they can tell the up and coming younger generation what they need to know. Excuse me. So information is relayed by generation, because what happened in one generation doesn't happen in the next generation, and it's up to the preceding generation to inform the present generation of certain conditions, which are why they're dealing with certain situations in this present time. Go ahead.
When the Supreme One gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the children of man, he set the borders of the people according to the numbers of the children of Yasha'Allah.
So the people's boundaries were set according to the number of the children of Israel. Even though we're greater in number, their boundaries were still set in accordance to the number of our people, the children of Israel. What again, verse 9? Go ahead.
For Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is the measure of his inheritance.
So the measurement of the Most High is his people, and that people is Yaquab, okay, who is our forefather. So his people is Yasha'Allah. Go ahead.
You discovered him in a desert land, in desolation, a howling wilderness. He encircled him, he granted him discernment, he preserved him like the pupil of his eye.
So the Most High bestowed upon Yahuwah discernment, upon Abraham discernment, to be able to read into spirits and find out the true intentions of the spirit coming before you, whether it's of the Most High or whether it's of Hashatan. Okay, so discernment isn't something you just pick up from a book. Discernment is a spirit, and the Most High has to give you a certain portion of that, and then you add it unto the learnings that you get from the instructions from the Bible, understanding wisdom, applying wisdom. Okay, verse 11.
It was like an eagle arousing its nest, hovering over its young, spreading its wings and taking them, carrying them on its pinions.
So this is how the Most High is to us, like an eagle, protecting his nest, protecting the children of Yasharahla. Okay. Go ahead, verse 12. Yeah. All right. Verse 12. No, read that again. Verse 12.
Yahawah alone guided them, and no other powers was with them.
Okay. So no other powers with him. There's no other entity but the Most High. Period. All right. So that was Deuteronomy 32nd chapter, verses 7 through 12. Okay. Next reader. All right. What you reading from? 13. All right. 13, 14, 15. You got it?
I think 19.
Okay. Let me get you in 13. All right, I'm with you in 13.
Yaraka Bahawa,
And you made him bride
Isle,
in
Bamawafia,
The high places.
the high places.
Bahama is the root word, Bahama, which be up high. No, I'm sorry. I think Bama is the root word, Bama. Like Allah, Bama, Alabama, high place of power.
Heights of
Aratza,
the earth,
Wa'akal,
that he might eat,
Thanawabath,
the produce
Shadia,
of the fields,
Wayana Kwahawa,
and he made him draw
Jabash,
honey
Masalai,
from the rock,
Washaman,
and oil
Makalamyasha,
from the flinting
Hazawar,
rock. 14.
Tama'af,
From curds,
Bakwar,
the cattle,
Wakalab,
milk, and milk
Taza'an,
of the flock,
Aim,
with
Kalab,
fat
Karyam,
of lambs,
Wa'ayala, Wa'alayaya,
Wa'ayalium,
Wa'ayalyam,
and rams,
the Kayal, the first symbol of the circle of stars.
Vanya,
of the breed
or sons of
Bashan,
of Bashan,
Wa'itha, Wadiam,
and goats
I'm
with
Kalab,
the
fat.
Kalyawath,
choices,
Kama,
wheat,
Wadam,
What's the last one? What's the last one you just said?
Kama,
Okay. No, it's kata.
oh Kata,
okay, at the kata,
Wadam,
and the blood
Ainab,
of grapes
Thashatha,
you drank,
Kamar,
wine, verse 15. Okay.
Wayam,
Grew fat and grew fat,
Yasharwan,
Yasharah,
Upright one.
Wayabai, Ba'ita,
and kicked,
Wayabait.
Wayabait,
and kicked,
Shamantha,
you grew fat,
Shamanta. That's just okay. Go ahead.
Ibayath,
grew thick,
Kashayath,
Kashayath.
Kashayath,
Yeah, you didn't say it right.
Kashayah, you were obese,
Wayatash,
and he forsook,
Alwa,
Elohim. Well, they got, I see God. That's not right.
To him
Aishawa,
that made him
Wayanabal,
And esteemed scornfully
Tazwar,
the flock,
Yashai Thwa,
of his salvation. Okay, that was 3 verses.
because the one is rock. Right there. What you say, rock? Correction, Tazawar is rock. Verses 13 through 6, 8, 13, right? Through 18.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 13. He would make him ride on the heights of the land and have him eat the ripe fruits of my fields. He will suckle him with honey from a stone and oil from a flinty rock, butter of cattle and milk of sheep, and fat of lambs, rams born in Bashan, and he-goats, with wheat as fat as kidneys, and you would drink blood of grapes like delicious wine. Jeshurun became fat and thick. You became fat, you became thick, you became corpulent, and it deserted Elohim its maker, and was contemptuous of the rock of its salvation. They would provoke his jealousy with strangers. They would anger him with abominations. They would slaughter to demons without power, gods whom they knew not. Newcomers recently arrived, whom your ancestors did not dread. You ignored the rock who gave birth to you, and forgot Elohim who brought you forth.
And so Moses did all these things for us, and our thanks to him was to forsake him and start worshiping false gods and demons in a nutshell. And we made the Most High jealous. Okay? That's it. Next is the 5th Aliyah, the 4th Aliyah, verses 19 through
Verses
19 through 28. Yeah, 19 through 20.
Majority of my stories on God, but that's all.
I'm
Rock.
Yabaraka Yahawah Bashem Mashak Yahushua. Verses 19, 20, and 21. You got it. I got it.
Shabka.
Should say my God. Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
So,
We're gonna go over. Yeah, they got separated, I guess, it's a song or something. But yeah, it's going to go to that song.
Wayara'a,
And when saw
Yahawah,
he is,
Wayanash Atazah,
and he spurred them,
Maka'ai,
Makais.
because of the provocation
Banayawa,
of his sons,
Waban
Banath.
Banath,
and his daughters.
He didn't finish.
Wayana Banath, Yahwa,
Banath Yoah.
Nathyawa,
And his daughters.
Waya Amar,
And he said,
Asara, Tayaraha,
I will hide
Panya,
my face
Mahama,
from them,
Maham.
Maham,
from them.
Ara'akha,
I will see
Maha,
Mah.
Ma,
what will be
Aka,
Akar.
Akar, Yatham,
their end.
Kaya,
For
the one, Slaku, the war,
a generation
the Hapakath,
perverse
Hama,
they are,
Benayam,
Banyam.
Banyam,
children,
La'a,
no, not
Aman,
faithfulness,
Bam,
in whom,
In them.
in them,
Ham,
that was two verses.
No, it's 2 verses. One more.
Ham,
They.
Kwana'a, Slaku, Kwana'a, Wanya,
That be jealous.
Bala'a,
by not
Al,
two,
Ka'am, Slaku, Kasana, Kasawanaya,
they have moved me to anger
Bahabala, Ham,
by their foolish idols.
Wa Ananya,
So
Aquan,
Wait. Why? Anya. So, it's I.
so I,
Which is
Aquania, Aham,
will provoke them to jealousy
Bala'a,
by not
Al,
A people.
a people, nation.
Bagawaya,
by a nation,
Nabala,
Nabal,
Nabal,
foolish,
Akaya, it's like Akaya Sama,
some,
I will move them to anger.
vile.
Okay,
That's it, vile.
all right.
19, right?
God.
Hashem Yahweh will see and be provoked by the anger of his sons and daughters. And he will say, I shall hide my face from them and see what will be their end. For they are a generation of reversal, children whose upbringing is not in them. They will provoke me with the non-Alahayim, and they angered me with their vanities. So shall I provoke them with the non-people, and with the vile nation shall I anger them. For fire will have been kindled in my nostrils, and blazed in the lower depths. It shall consume the earth and its produce, and set ablaze what is found on the mountains. I shall accumulate the evils against them. My arrows I shall use up against them. Bloating of famine, battles of flaming demons, cutting down by the noontime demon, and the teeth of beasts shall I dispatch against them, with the venom of those who creep on the earth. On the outside, the sword bereaveth, while the indoor there will be dread, even a young man, even a virgin, a suckling with a gray-haired man. I had said, I will scatter them. I will cause their memory to cease from men. Were it not that the anger of the enemy was pent up, lest his tormentors misinterpret pride. And it was not Hashem Yahweh who accomplished all of this. For they are a nation bereaved of counsel, and there is no discernment in them.
Okay, that's it right there. As the Most High showing, basically gonna use the Gentiles, specifically Esau, to make us jealous. And that's how you feel when you go into Israel, when you see them in the land that we was brought to as slaves, when you see them in the territories that we was brought to after we left the captivity of the Assyrians in the 722, 721 BC. There's a jealousy and there's an anger that we feel against these other, this nation, Esau, Adawam, our twin brother, because he's in possession of all the things that belong to us, that we had first. Israel, America, all right? He's in possession of all of these things, all right? So the Most High said he's gonna make us jealous. And that's what he did, made us jealous of what the other nations, what he gave Esau. That's why he said a foolish nation, a vile nation. Then he says that he's gonna heap his evil upon us. Okay, he's gonna make us to go through famine, through destruction, through warfare, men and women, old and young. The Most High said we a nation that does not have counsel. And he said we don't have any understanding of the nation people either. Okay. Let's work back down now to the Parashah. So the fifth, verse 29 through 29 through 39. He's gonna do Hebrew, just the English.
We can do just the English.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 29. Were they wise, they would interpret, they would comprehend this. they would discern it from their end. For how could one pursue 1,000 and two cause a myriad to flee? If not that their rock had sold them out, and Yahweh had delivered them. For not like our rock is their rock, we are our enemies judge us. For their vineyard is from the vineyard of Sodom.
Now he's going into the Edomites. Their vineyard is the vineyard of Sodom. Go ahead.
And from the field of Gomorrah, their grapes are grapes of gall. So clusters of bitterness were given them. Serpent's venom is their wine, the poison of vipers. Is it not revealed with me, sealed in my treasuries? Mine is vengeance and retribution at the time of their foot will falter. For the day of their catastrophe is near, and future events are rushing at them. When Yahawah judges people, he shall relent regarding his servants. When he sees that enemy power progresses and none is saved or assisted, he will say, where is their Elohim, the rock in whom they sought refuge, the fat of whose offerings they would eat, they would drink the wine of their libations. Let them stand and help you, let them be a shelter for you. See now that I am he, and know Elohim, and know God is with me. I put to death, and I bring to life. I struck down, and I will heal. There is no rescue from my hand.
So that's it. So real quick, the most I'm saying is everybody understood the full picture. All right, that Israel is going to rise back up, and that the only way that these things happen is because the Most High allowed us to get defeated by our enemies, particularly going into the Arabs and the Ishmaelites, Arabs, and the Edomite, so-called European white people. He's the one who took our power away. These things aren't just what we read in the book, but these are actual historical events, and they're giving us the explanation of why and how these things happen. So it says that Yahweh is our rock, all right? But the Most High has used our enemies to be our judges against us, all right? And when the Most High gets into, he says that their field and their vine is Sodom and Gomorrah, he's getting into the sexual perversion and homosexuality that they promote. Right, so they promote sexual perversion and they promote homosexuality. All right? So the Most High is saying that even if you drink from the cup that they give you, which is the same thing about the whore of Babylon and Deuteronomy, and when you go into Revelation, all right, that the wine is poison. All right, the wine is poison. The wine is serpent's venom. Remember we read about the other day, we read about Adam and Eve, all right? About that serpent. Here's that serpent again. Showing that the serpent is used as a metaphor for an evil, wicked man, an evil, wicked nation in this case. Most I say their wine is the venom of serpents. Like their wine is the venom of serpents, meaning what? You drink behind them, you're gonna get poisoned by the snake. Start doing what the snake wants you to do. Keep eating that fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Or keep eating that fruit of the tree that's gonna cause death to come upon you. All right? So Moses said his vengeance belongs to him, and he's going to cause their foot to slip. And we see when we read in our prayers, he should not suffer our foot to be moved. All right? So the Most High, he said that when he sees that our strength is gone, all right, then he's going to say, where's your rock and where's your gods? Where's these sacrifices, these praises that you were singing up, these offerings that you were giving? Where are these things at now? I'm the Most High Yahawah is what the Bible was saying. It's me that gives life and it's me that gives death. And nobody can stop anything that my hand has going forth to do. All right, so we're going to do 40 through 43. Yeah, 40 through 43. 26.
Mario has
Amadvan, Rock.
YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH, Shem Yahushua. It's 40 through 43. Everything 30. Let me tell you something real quick too. I mean, when you saying your words and stuff, all right, you might hear people say, well, that's not the real Hebrew, or that's the modern Hebrew, whatever. Modern, ancient Hebrew. Either one is preferable and carries a stronger vibration than the English.
Period.
So if I say Avenu, I'm saying a word that's based in Hebrew characters, even if my pronunciation may be different than Abba Yanawa, or Ab Yanawa, or Abba Yanawa, or Avenu. Because both of those go back to the Hebrew characters, Hebrew letters, right? As opposed to me saying father, me saying father goes back to where? What language does father come from? What's the, when you keep going back, what does that word go back to? What language? Latin is, before that. Before Latin, yeah, Sanskrit. Goes way back to Sanskrit. Because that's where the Latin words came from. A lot of Latin words came from Sanskrit. So mater, pater, Latin, okay. Pater, that's a straight up Elam word. Dravidian, all right? Dravidian / Sanskrit, whatever, however you want to call it. You know, both of them are ancient, but the Dravidian's a little older. All right. So when you say, you know, bo, as opposed to bawa'a, it's still better in English than the word come. Okay. If you say bait, as opposed to bayaf, still better than house. All right. If you say rosh, as opposed to ra'ash, still better than head. So no matter how you pronounce your modern Hebrew, it's still gonna be better than the English word. No matter how you pronounce your ancient Hebrew, it's still gonna be better than the English. Okay? If I say eretz or aratizah, it's still better than earth, well, even though those two are kind of related. If I say hashemayim or shamayim, still better than heavens. Right? Still better than heaven. It's still better than, definitely better than sanctified, because sancta that goes back to the name of the Gentile demon that they worship. All right, so we want to bear that in mind when we're reading this modern or the ancient. No matter how we pronouncing it, it's still better than the English, better than the Spanish, better than the Turkish, better than the Hindu. All right. Okay.
For I shall raise my hand to heaven and say, as I live forever, if I sharpen my fleshly sword and my hand grasp judgment, I shall return vengeance upon my enemies, and upon those that hate me shall I bring retribution.
Right.
I shall intoxicate my arrows with blood and my sword.
Drunk with blood.
And my sword shall devour flesh, because of the blood of the corpse and captive, because of the earliest depredations of the enemy. O nations, sing the praise of his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will bring retribution upon his foes, and he will appease his land and his people.
Okay, that's it. They're not praising Yahweh because of verse 43. They're not praising Yahweh because he's going to bring vengeance upon, you know, how the nation going to praise Yahweh for bringing judgment upon his enemies. That means they got to leave from amongst their people and cleave unto Yahshua. They got to cleave unto us for them not to have part of that judgment. All right. So the Most High said, he lift up his hand and he swear by himself. He gonna wet his glittering sword, meaning his sword is gonna get wet. He's gonna sharpen it. That's what it means. He's gonna sharpen his sword. And he's gonna give vengeance upon his enemies. He's gonna pay those people back that hate him. People hate him, those that break his commandments. All right? his arrows are gonna be drunk with blood, which means his arrow's gonna be intoxicated. All right, super satisfied, over satisfied. All right, with blood. His sword is gonna devour much flesh. That's what the scripture says. His sword is gonna devour much flesh. All right. So he said, "You nations, sing aloud. For Yahawah avenges the blood of his servants, and he's going to give vengeance on his adversaries." All right? And who's rocking this? Who's really promoting this song? Anybody singing this song? All right, Zayatan? 44, 45, and 46, and I'll come in.
Mother, rock,
Yabarakah Yahawah Bashem Yahushua Hamashiach.
Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people. He and
Hawashai,
son of Nun, Moses,
concluded.
Speaking all these words to all Israel. He said to them, "Apply your hearts to all the words that I testify
They say, set your heart unto these words, go ahead.
against you today, with which you are to instruct your children to be
Careful.
To perform all the words of this Torah.
All the words of this law.
All the words of this law.
Keep reading.
For it is not an empty thing for you, for it is your life, and throughout this matter shall you prolong.
And through this matter shall you prolong
your days on the land to which you cross the Jordan to possess it.
So in the Torah, treat each other as living things in our life, which is death. All right, 48.
Hashem Yahweh spoke to Moses on that very day, saying, Ascend to this mount of Ibarium, Mount Nabwa, which is in the land that Moab, which is before Jericho, and see that land for Canaan, that I give to the children of Israel as an inheritance, and die on the mountain where you will ascend and be gathered to your people as our own. Your brother died on Mount Hor and was gathered to his people.
Okay, read the last 2 verses. Because ye trespassed against me, stand up and read. In the midst of the children of the Banya Yashala, as the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the Banya Yashala. For thou shalt see the land afar off, but thou shalt not go thither into the land which I gave the children of Yashala. That's it, 52, right?
Okay.
33, I don't even have a. Alright, so,
Second Samuel.
what chapter?
2 Samuel 22. Says 1 to 51. I got 2 Samuel 22. Okay. 1 to 51.
Chapter 22.
Okay.
Alright, we went through 26.
All right.
And the wad, right?
Yeah.
The wad la Yahawah. And Yahweh spake, and David the wad spoke to Yahweh the words of this song in the day that Yahweh delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies and out of the hand of Shaul. And he said, Yahweh is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, the Elohim of my rock, in him whom I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. I will call on Yahweh, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The bonds of Sheol, hell, encircled me. The snares of death took me by surprise. In my distress I called upon Yahweh and cried to my Elohim. And he heard my cry out of his temple, and my cry entered into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because of his anger. There went up a smoke out of his nostril, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did cherub, and did fly. And he was seen upon the winds of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, the heavy mass of water, and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. Yahweh thundered from Hashemaiah, and the Most High uttered his voice. And he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and confounded them. And the channels of the sea appeared. The foundation of the world were laid bare at the rebuking of Yahweh, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, and them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. They surprised me in the day of my calamity, but Yahweh was my stay. He brought me forth also in a large place, and delivered me. because he delighted in me. Yahweh rewards me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands, he recompenses me. For I have kept the ways of Yahweh, and have not wickedly departed from my Elohim. For all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was also upright before him, and have kept myself from my iniquity. Therefore, Yahweh recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of in his eyesight. With the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful, and with the upright man thou shalt show thyself upright. I'm going to do 27 to 52 when you got it. Okay. And the afflicted people thou wilt save, but thy eyes are upon the haughty, that thou mayest bring them down. For thou art my lamp, O Yahweh, and Yahweh lightens my darkness. For by thee I run through a troop, by my Elohim I leap over a wall. As for Elohim, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He is a shield to all them that trust in him. For who is Elohim, save Yahweh? And who is a rock, save Elohim now? Elohim is my strength and rampart. And he makes my way smooth. He makes my feet like hinds' feet, and sets me upon my heights. He teaches my hands to war, and trains my arm to bend a bow of brass. Thou hast given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy condescension makes me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, so that my foot did not slip. I have pursued my enemies and destroyed them, and turned not again until I consumed them. And I have consumed them and crushed them, and they could not arise. They are fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with strength to battle. Them that rose up against me, thou subdued under me. Thou hast also made my enemies turn their backs on me, that I might destroy them that hate me. They looked, but there was none to save. To Yahweh, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them as small as the dust of the earth. I did stamp them as the mire of the street, and did tread them down. Thou also hast delivered me from the thrivings of my people. Thou wilt keep me to be head of many nations. A people whom I knew not shall serve me. Strangers shall submit themselves to me. They shall hear, they shall be obedient to me. Strangers shall fade away, and they shall come tottering from out of their close places. Yahweh lives, and blessed be my rock, and exalted is the Elohim of the rock of my salvation. It is Yahweh that avenges me, and that brings down the people under me, and that brings me out from my enemies. Thou also hast lifted me on high above them that rose up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. Therefore I will give thanks to thee, O Yahweh, among the nations, and I will sing praise to thy name. He is the tower of salvation for his king, and shows mercy to his anointed, to Dawad and to his seed forever. So Yahweh kind of 6, 26, 35, you say what?
St. John 6, verses 26 to 35. Yahushua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perishes, but for the meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him has Yahweh thy Elohim sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do, that we might work the works of Yahweh? Yahushua answered said unto them, This is the work of Yahweh, that ye believe on him whom he has sent. They said therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What doest thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it was written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Yahushua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Marshah gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Adunya, evermore give us this bread. And Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you, So basically, Yahushua was telling the disciples that he was that bread of everlasting life, that you eat of my word, drink of my cup, that you will have everlasting life, to believe on him. He was that manna that Yahweh sent down from heaven to give that token, that belief onto everlasting life. But you have to believe on Yahushua and Mashiach. You have to eat of his word, his wisdom, his understanding. But they kept asking him, well, show us a sign. He was that sign. Show us the miracle. He was that miracle. And he performed miracles to show you that this was the promise of those that believe on him, everlasting life.
And Romans 9:35 says, As it is written, Behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling block, an offense. Romans 9:33. As it is written, Behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling block and a rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. So that rock in the wilderness is Yahushua. 1 Corinthians 10 goes into it a little again also. We'll find a verse. Okay. Speaking on the same subject that we just read about in Yahushua 6. Romans 1 Corinthians 10:1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Marshah in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. Right? For they drank of that spiritual rock which followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach Yahushua. So that rock in the wilderness was Yahushua that they drank from. Okay. So Yahushua has been with us since we came up out of Egypt, and he's still with us now. Right? That's it.
Let's read the memorial of the woman. Close out this week's Torah portion.
Zakar HaAshah. Now when Yahushua was in Bethlehem, the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her. So that's it. That's the memorial of the woman. And wherever the gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for a memorial of her.
Okay. So let's close out. Amagwa, Barakwa, Yabaraka, Kwam Yahawah, Bashem Yahawah, Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Hallelujah,
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 Hallelujah.
My name is Shabbat, Sister Stan. Salute our sisters. Okay. Amagwa, Barakwa, Yashamar,
Kan Yahawah, Bashem Yahawah,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yashala,
Hallelujah,
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 Hallelujah.
Okay, so that concludes this week's Torah portion. We read HAAZINU, which means to
How
listen.
what? We
HAAZINU, no.
how's it know?
HAAZINU, which means listen. Torah portion was Deuteronomy 32nd chapter, verses 1 to verse 52. Half Torah portion was 2 Samuel 22nd chapter, 1 to 51. And the Parashah was in St. John 6, 26 to 35. So we thank y'all for coming out. Stay fervent. Starting tonight.
For us.
For us.
It's already for them.
It's already for y'all, but it'll be our first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.